The metal restraints bit deep into Zara Chen's wrists as the Vorthack interrogator leaned closer. His 3 eyes blinked in sequence, a habit she'd grown to despise over the past. How long had it been? Hours? Days? Time meant nothing in the sterile white chamber aboard their ship. Tell us about Earth's defense systems. Kexmore hissed through his translator device. Purple saliva dripped from his mandibles onto the cold floor. Your species is weak. You feel pain. We have all the time in the universe. Zara spat blood onto his boots. Go to hell, squid face. The alien's laugh sounded like grinding metal. Your defiance amuses me. Human. But I wonder, how long can that spirit last? He gestured to his assistant, a smaller Vorthack named Telvik, who seemed to take particular joy in the torture devices. Telvik activated a neural disruptor, and lightning coursed through Zara's body. Her scream echoed off the walls, but she bit down hard, refusing to give him satisfaction. Earth's location. Kexmore demanded. The coordinates of your military bases. Your weapon specifications. I already told you, Zara gasped, her chest heaving. I'm just a cargo pilot. I don't know anything about military secrets. Lies! The interrogator's middle I dilated with rage. We intercepted your ship near the Centauri system. No simple cargo pilot ventures that far from Earth. He was right about that part. Zara wasn't just any cargo pilot. She was Lieutenant Commander Zarachin of the Earth Defense Corps, carrying classified intel about humanity's newest weapon prototype. But they'd never get that information from her. Not while she drew breath. Telvik cranked up the neural disruptor. This time, Zara couldn't suppress her scream. Her vision blurred as electricity fried her nervous system. When it stopped, she tasted copper and felt something wet trickling from her ears. We have scanned your mind, Kexmore said, circling her chair like a predator. We know you carry military secrets. Your thoughts leak them like a broken vessel. Then why do you need me to talk? Zara managed a weak laugh. Can't crack the encryption, can you? Poor babies. Maybe you're not as advanced as you think. The alien's fury was a beautiful sight to behold. His skin shifted from purple to deep crimson, and all 3 eyes focused on her with murderous intent. You mock us? Your species hasn't even achieved faster-than-light travel without our stolen technology. You are insect pretending to be gods. Insects that kicked your butts at Proxima Station. Zara reminded him sweetly. What was your casualty count again? 10,000? 15. That had been humanity's first major victory against the Vorthack invasion fleet. Earth's defenders had used guerrilla tactics and sheer bloody-minded determination to destroy 3 alien dreadnoughts. The psychological impact had been devastating to Vorthack morale. Telvik whispered something in his native tongue. Kexmore nodded grimly and selected a new instrument from the torture rack. It looked like a cross between a dentist's drill and a scorpion's tail. This device will extract memories directly from your brain tissue, he explained with clinical precision. The process is unpleasant. Few subjects survive intact, but we will have our answers. The drill whirred to life. Zara closed her eyes and thought of home. Earth's blue skies. The smell of her mother's cooking. The laughter of children in Central Park. If she were going to die, at least she'd die human. The drill pressed against her skull. Pain exploded through her head as it began to penetrate bone. She screamed until her throat went raw, then screamed some more. Blood ran down her face in crimson streams. The orbital defense platforms. Kexmore demanded, where are they positioned? Zara's world dissolved into agony. She felt the drill pushing deeper, scraping against her brain. Memories flickered like broken film. Her academy graduation, her first mission, the day the Vorthack invaded. I can't, she gasped. You can, you will. Tell us what we need to know. The drill penetrated deeper. Zara felt something vital tear inside her skull. Her vision went white, then red, then black around the edges. This was it. This was how she died. At least she hadn't broken. At least Earth's secrets died with her. Nothing, she whispered with her last breath. You get nothing. Her heart stopped. The neural patterns on Telvik's scanner flatlined. Kexmore cursed in his native tongue and threw the drill across the room. "Dispose of the body," he ordered. "Inform the High Command that the human died without revealing intelligence." Telvik dragged Zara's corpse to the ship's waste disposal unit. Standard procedure for interrogation failures. The body would be ejected into space, another casualty of the war between species. But as the disposal unit's timer counted down, something impossible happened. Zara's eyes snapped open. She was still strapped to the metal gurney, still covered in her blood, but very much alive. More than alive. She felt different, stronger, like electricity was flowing through her veins instead of blood. The disposal unit's hatch was 30 seconds from opening. Zara tested her restraints and laughed. The metal bands that had held her captive now bent like clay in her hands. She sat up and examined herself in the polished metal surface of the wall. Same face, same brown eyes and black hair. But there was something else now. Something that hadn't been there before she died. Her pupils reflected light like a cat's, and when she smiled, her teeth seemed sharper. "Well," she said to her reflection, "that's new." 20 seconds until disposal. She could hear Telvik moving around in the adjacent chamber, probably cleaning up the torture equipment. Poor Telvik. He was about to have a horrible day. Zara stood and stretched. Her body felt incredible. Every muscle fiber seemed enhanced. Every nerve ending supercharged. She died, but death hadn't kept her. Instead, it had given her a gift. 10 seconds. She positioned herself by the hatch controls and waited. When the mechanism began to cycle, she jammed her bare hand into the gears. The metal crushed her fingers, but instead of pain, she felt only mild annoyance. Her bones had become harder than steel. The disposal unit's alarm shrieked. Telvik came running to investigate. "What in the void is that noise?" he muttered, then froze when he saw Zara standing in the doorway. "Miss me?" she asked pleasantly. The alien's 3 eyes went wide with terror. He scrambled for his weapon, but Zara moved faster than thought itself. Her hand closed around his throat and lifted him off the ground. "Let's talk about pain tolerance," she suggested. "I've learned a lot about it recently." Telvik tried to scream, but her grip crushed his vocal cords. She carried him back to the interrogation chamber and strapped him into the very chair where she died. "Please," he wheezed. "You were dead. I checked. You were dead. I got better." Zara picked up the neural disruptor and examined it thoughtfully. "You know, I never did get to try this on the other side." She activated the device. Telvik's shriek of agony was music to her ears. "Where is Earth?" she demanded in perfect mimicry of Kexmore's earlier words. "What are your military secrets? How many ships are in your fleet?" I don't." Zara cranked up the power. Wrong answer. While Telvik convulsed in the chair, she accessed the chamber's control panel. Her enhanced fingers moved with inhuman precision, cracking the Vorthack security codes in seconds. The ship's schematics appeared on the main screen. 30 crew members, 12 guards. One very surprised interrogator is about to walk into a nightmare. The chamber door hissed open. Kexmore entered, probably expecting to find Telvik disposing of her body. Instead, he found his assistant screaming in the torture chair, and a supposedly dead human examining his equipment like she owned the place. "Impossible," he breathed. "Hi there, handsome." Zara waggled her fingers at him. "Ready for round 2? Kexmore drew his plasma pistol, but she was already moving. The weapon flew from his hands and embedded itself in the wall. Before he could react, she had him by the throat. "You know what I learned today?" she asked conversationally. "Pain is temporary. Death is temporary. But revenge? Revenge is forever." She threw him across the room. He hit the wall with a wet crunch and slumped to the floor. When he tried to stand, she was already there, lifting him effortlessly. "Tell me about your fleet," she commanded. "Tell me about your home world. Tell me everything." "Never." Kexmore spat purple blood. "The Vorthack do not break." Zara smiled, and her teeth looked sharper now. "That's what I was hoping you'd say." She reached for the bone drill, the same instrument that had killed her minutes earlier. The irony was delicious. "Let's see how well you handle a taste of your own medicine." The drill whirred to life. Kexmore's screams joined Telvik's in a symphony of suffering that would have horrified the woman Zara had been an hour ago. But she wasn't that woman anymore. Death had changed her, transformed her, made her something new, something the Vorthack were going to wish they'd never encountered. As she worked, extracting information with the same methodical precision her captors had used on her, Zara began to understand what had happened. The neural disruptor hadn't just tortured her. It had rewritten her DNA, activated dormant sequences that shouldn't have existed in human genetics. But they did exist, hidden in the deepest layers of the human genome, waiting for the right trigger, the right trauma, death itself. She was humanity's next step, what they were meant to become. And now she was going to show these alien invaders exactly why they should have left Earth alone. The interrogation continued. By the time she was finished, she knew everything. Fleet positions, homeworld coordinates, military command structure, even their plans for Earth's conquest. More importantly, she knew their weaknesses. "Thank you for your cooperation," she told the broken aliens. "This has been very educational." She left them alive. Barely. They'd need medical attention soon, but they'd survive long enough to spread word of what had happened here. Fear was a weapon, and she intended to use it. The ship's corridor stretched before her, filled with unsuspecting enemies. 30 crew members who thought they were on a routine intelligence-gathering mission. They were about to learn otherwise. Zara cracked her knuckles and smiled. Time to introduce the Vorthack to humanity's newest defender. Time to show them what happened when you killed a human and gave them the chance to come back. The ship's ventilation system carried Zara's scent throughout the vessel within minutes. Enhanced senses were part of her new package deal with death. She could smell the Vorthack crew members now, distinguish their pheromone signatures, even detect their emotional states through biochemical changes. Fear, confusion, panic, perfect. She moved through the corridors like a ghost, her bare feet silent on the metal decking. The first guard she encountered was checking the interrogation chamber's alarm system. Poor guy probably wondered why the disposal unit had malfunctioned. Looking for something? Zara asked from directly behind him. The Vorthack spun around, his weapon already drawn. Fast reflexes. Too bad they weren't fast enough. Zara caught his wrist and squeezed until the bones cracked. The plasma rifle clattered to the floor. "You're supposed to be dead," he gasped in accented English. "Death is overrated." She picked up his weapon and examined it. These things always seem so intimidating from the wrong end. "Mind if I test it?" She fired 3 shots into the wall. Each one precisely placed a spell out HFY in burning letters. The guard stared in bewilderment. "What does that mean?" he asked. "Humanity first, always." Zara lied smoothly. It meant something far more colorful, but these aliens wouldn't understand the cultural reference. "Consider it my calling card." She knocked him unconscious with a gentle tap to his skull. Gentle for her new strength level. Anyway, he'd wake up in a few hours with a headache and a story nobody would believe. The ship's intercom crackled to life. "Security alert. All personnel to battle stations. We have an intruder aboard." Zara laughed and spoke directly to the nearest communication panel. "Hi, everyone. Zara Chin here. You know, the dead human from Interrogation Room 3? I just want to let you all know that I'm feeling much better now." She could hear startled voices echoing through the corridors. The crew was trying to process the impossible. Their prisoner had died. They'd all seen the body. But here she was, chatting casually over the comm system like she owned the place. "Here's what's going to happen," she continued. "I'm going to visit each of you. We're going to have a little conversation about your invasion plans. Those who cooperate will get to keep breathing. Those who don't, well, let's just say I've learned some interesting new techniques." A plasma bolt sizzled past her head. 3 more guards had found her position. They advanced in formation, weapons trained on her center mass. Professional soldiers follow standard boarding protocols. "Surrender immediately," the squad leader barked. "You are outnumbered and outgunned." Zara held up her hands in mock surrender. "Oh no, whatever shall I do?" The guards relaxed slightly, thinking they had her contained. Big mistake. Zara moved with inhuman speed, covering the distance between them in a heartbeat. Her first punch sent the squad leader flying through a bulkhead. The second guard managed to fire once before she relieved him of his weapon and his consciousness. The third guard, wisely, dropped his rifle and raised his hands. Smart choice, Zara approved. What's your name, soldier? Gektar, he stammered. Please don't kill me. Kill you? Oh. Gektar, I'm not going to kill anyone today. Death is too easy. Too quick. I'm going to do something much worse. She leaned closer, and he could see his terrified reflection in her enhanced eyes. I'm going to let you live, so you can tell everyone what happened here. So your entire species knows what happens when you mess with humanity. The ship's captain came over the intercom, his voice tight with barely controlled fear. Unknown entity, this is Captain Mordek. Identify yourself and state your intentions. Zara found the nearest wall panel and patched into the ship's communication system. Her enhanced abilities made the alien technology feel intuitive, almost primitive. Captain Mordek, so nice to finally meet you. Well, not exactly. More like a threat from a distance. I'm Lieutenant Commander Zara Chun, Earth Defense Corps. Your boys killed me about 40 minutes ago. Silence. I know this is awkward, she continued cheerfully. Death puts a damper on diplomatic relations, but I'm feeling very forgiving today. All I want is safe passage back to Earth and a detailed report on your fleet movements. That's impossible, Mordek finally replied. You're human. Humans don't come back from death. Well, that's where you're wrong, Captain. Turns out your torture devices have some interesting side effects. Who knew that neural disruptors could activate dormant genetic sequences? I certainly didn't. But hey, every day is a learning experience. She paused to incapacitate two more guards who had been foolish enough to try sneaking up on her. They joined their unconscious colleagues in a growing pile of defeated Vorthak. Here's what I've learned so far, she continued. Your species is planning a full-scale invasion of Earth. 12 battle fleets. 400 ships total. You think humans are weak because we feel pain and fear death. She found the ship's armory and began examining their weapon stockpile. Impressive. The Vorthak certainly believed in firepower. But here's the thing about humans, Captain. We don't just feel pain. We remember it. We learn from it. And most importantly, we get angry about it. She selected a plasma cannon that looked like it could punch through a starship hull. The weapon was nearly as tall as she was, but her enhanced strength made it feel light as a feather. I'm going to make you a deal, she announced, hefting the massive gun. Take me to your command center. Show me your tactical displays. Let me copy your invasion plans. Do all this willingly, and I'll consider not turning your ship into scrap metal. And if I refuse, Mordek asked, then I'll take the information anyway. But there won't be enough left of your crew to report back to your fleet. Your choice, Captain. The intercom went silent for several minutes. Zara used the time to practice with her new abilities. She could move faster than the eye could track. Her strength seemed limitless. Most importantly, she could interface directly with alien technology through some kind of bioelectric field. She was no longer entirely human. The torture had rewritten her DNA, activated genetic potential that shouldn't have existed, but it did exist, hidden in humanity's genome like a sleeping giant, waiting for the right trigger. Death itself. Very well, Mordek finally replied. Deck 7, Section 12. Come alone. Of course. Zara smiled and made her way toward the command center. I wouldn't dream of bringing backup. That would be unsporting. The command center doors hissed open to reveal Captain Mordek and his senior staff. They were all armed naturally. The Vorthak were many things, but they weren't stupid. So, Mordek said, studying her with professional interest, you're the dead human. Formerly dead human, Zara corrected. Currently very much alive human with a serious attitude problem. She looked around the command center, taking in the tactical displays and navigation charts. Everything she needed to warn Earth about the coming invasion. Nice setup you have here. Very intimidating. I especially like the skulls from conquered species. Real motivational decorator choice. Those skulls represent the fate of all who oppose the Vorthak Empire, the captain said coldly. Funny thing about skulls, Captain. They all look the same after a while. Human Vorthack doesn't matter once the meat's gone. She moved to the central tactical display and began downloading information directly through her enhanced nervous system. The data flowed into her consciousness like water. Fleet positions, supply lines, command codes, even the location of the Vorthack homeworld. Fascinating, she murmured. Your entire invasion timeline, right here in living color. Looks like you're planning to hit Earth in 6 months. Mass bombardment, followed by ground occupation. Very thorough. Mordek's hand moved toward his weapon. Step away from that console. Or what? You'll kill me? Zara laughed. Been there, done that. Didn't take the first time. She finished the download and turned to face the Vorthack officers. Here's what's going to happen. I'm taking one of your shuttles back to Earth. You're going to send a message to your fleet commanders explaining that humans are no longer safe targets. We're not the helpless prey species you thought we were. The High Command will never believe such a report, Mordek protested. Then you'd better be very convincing, because I'm just the first captain. Humanity has billions of people, and now we know the secret. Death isn't the end for us anymore. It's an upgrade. She moved toward the exit, then paused. Oh, one more thing. Tell your invasion fleets to turn around. Find some other species to terrorize. Because if even one Vorthack ship enters Earth's solar system, I'm going to visit your home world personally. And I won't be nearly as polite the second time. The shuttle bay was empty, except for a few maintenance crews who scattered when they saw her coming. Zara selected the fastest-looking transport and began the startup sequence. The controls were alien, but somehow she understood their function intuitively. Another gift from her transformation. As the shuttle launched from the Vorthack vessel, she opened a communication channel to Earth. Earth Defense Command, this is Lieutenant Commander Zara Chen, requesting immediate priority clearance. I'm inbound with critical intelligence about enemy fleet movements. The response came back within seconds. Zara, we thought you were dead. Your ship was destroyed 3 days ago. I got better. Listen carefully because we don't have much time. The Vorthack are planning a massive invasion. 12 fleets, 400 ships. I have their complete tactical database. She transmitted the stolen information in a compressed data burst. Everything the enemy had planned lay bare for Earth's defenders to study. My God, Kim replied. How did you acquire this intelligence? I died for it, Zara said simply. But that's not the important part. The important part is what I became afterward. She looked at her reflection in the shuttle's viewport, still human in appearance, but something more now, something new, the next step in human evolution, triggered by an alien torture device that was supposed to destroy her. Instead, it had made her into humanity's greatest weapon. Contact the Science Division, she continued. Tell them we need to study the effects of Vorthack neural disruptors on human physiology. We're going to need more people like me. More people like you? Zara smiled, and in the viewport's reflection, her teeth looked very sharp indeed. The Vorthack wanted to know what makes humans special, what makes us dangerous. Well, now they're going to find out. We don't just survive death. We come back stronger. The blue marble of Earth grew larger in her view screen. Home. Safe for now, but not for long. The enemy would come eventually, despite her warnings. They always did. But when they arrived, they'd find humanity ready. They'd find a species that had learned to make death itself into a weapon. And they'd discover, far too late, that some mistakes can never be undone. The girl they'd tortured and killed was gone forever. In her place stood something new, something humanity would need to survive the wars to come. Something that would teach the universe a very simple lesson. Never kill a human unless you're certain they'll stay dead.